From the capital city of Charleston, West Virginia, this is Inside West Virginia Politics with Mark Curtis. Inside West Virginia Politics is brought to you by AARP West Virginia, your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State.
And good Sunday morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside West Virginia Politics. It is our annual Labor Day show where we talk to business and labor leaders about the state of the economy here in the beautiful mountain state of West Virginia. With that in mind, let me introduce our first guest. Steve Roberts is the president of the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce. Great to have you on the program. You've been on our newscast quite a bit of late because there's been some good economic news for the state of West Virginia. Talk about some of those numbers.
Well, Mark, thank you for having me on your show, and it's really just wonderful to have the opportunity to talk about some very good things that are happening in West Virginia. You know, we are #1 in the nation for wage growth, and we are #1 in the nation for GDP growth. That's the overall economy is really our GDP. And West Virginia doesn't very often get the opportunity to say we're #1 in the nation. What we think is that economic policies that are being developed in Washington and pushed through Congress are working, and they are working for West Virginia, and policies that have been led really by the West Virginia legislature are working in West Virginia. Business has a lot more confidence in West Virginia, and when businesses have confidence and see stability, they will invest and grow jobs and help the economy. So wages are going up. 27,000 jobs have been created in the last 3 years. Half of our job growth has just been in the last year, and it's broad-based. In fact, coal and retail are down a little bit, but everything else has been growing.
Yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit because some of the other numbers came out from Workforce West Virginia, which is a state agency showing that we're at the highest level of employment we've had in 10 years or a good stretch. And you mentioned some of the sectors that were down, but what's up? So
we're at the best level of employment in West Virginia that we've been since July of 2008. And we're seeing growth. This is very important. We're seeing big growth in the manufacturing sector. Only the construction sector has grown more than manufacturing. We would expect construction to be growing because there's a lot going on. There's a lot happening. But we've struggled in West Virginia to hold on to our manufacturing base. In fact, in 1980, we had 130,000 manufacturing jobs. Today, we have about 48,000 manufacturing jobs. So over time, we've seen big losses. But in the last year, instead of losing, we've been gaining. And we've gained over 1,000 manufacturing jobs. We could go a whole lot higher, and that will help the economy of West Virginia.
One of the things we always look forward to, and I'll ask the labor leaders about this, is what can we do at the legislative level to get us beyond where we are? And the first thing that comes to mind is, do we have enough job training, or do we need more? And are we doing enough to treat people who have had opioid addictions, get them clean and back into the workforce? How do we do that? What does the legislature need to do?
Everything you're bringing up is important. Here's what we think needs to happen. Let me start by saying that we have 20,000 job openings in West Virginia today. What we don't have are workers who have the skills, whether it's basic math skills or work skills. Show up clean, show up on time, be ready to work. We have some gaps in that area. Broadly, that's known as the skills gap. And we can do a lot to help fill the skills gap. Secondly, efforts are underway to help with the opioid addiction crisis. The opioid addiction crisis is abating, at least in West Virginia and in Central Appalachia. I like to say that instead of being the center of the epidemic, we're the center of the answer to the epidemic. We're beginning to see that. Programs that they have underway at Marshall University, West Virginia University, are really, really making a difference in this area. We also need to put more money into the West Virginia Development Office. They need to have the money for a site readiness program. They need to have the money for a shell building program. And we have such good news in West Virginia, we need to tell everybody. And frankly, it takes money. We have to advertise ourselves more. Yeah. We host at the West Virginia Chamber, we host international visitors, we host national visitors. People love West Virginia. We just have to tell them about it.
Yeah, and I should point out that as you drive down Kanawha Boulevard near the capital of West Virginia, your offices are located there. You have a big banner out front saying now #1 in GDP growth, #1 in wage growth. And so you guys are trying to shout it to the mountaintops here in the Mountain State.
We really want people to know that West Virginia's economy has turned around, it's growing, and the future is ours.
All right, we're going to talk to some labor leaders coming up next. We do want to thank Steve Roberts, president of the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce, for being here and sharing the good news. We'll talk more about business and labor here on Inside West Virginia Politics. Don't go away.